Hello, family. It's Rosalind again. So you know what that means. That means it's time for real talk now. Yes, yes. Tonight I'm excited because we have two great young men here, Mr. Nick Hylton and Mr. Isaiah Jarvis, and we're going to speak about rap that speaks life. Yes, yes. Before we get started, I want us to meditate on 1 Corinthians 9:13 through 19, which reads, I am coming to you now, but I say these things while I am still in the world, so that they may have the full measure of my joy within them. I have given them your word, and the world has hated them, for they are not of the world any more than I am of the world. My prayer is not that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one. Yes. They are not of the world, even as I am not of it. Sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world. For them I sanctify myself. They too may be truly sanctified. Yes, yes. Family, I read this powerful Bible verse because sometimes in order to reach all people, we must speak the language of the people. We must go into the world in order to tell all people about our Savior. Yes. The goal is to show them that they have no need to be stuck. No need to be stuck in the chaos, in the sin, in the evilness of the world. We must remember that they are good people in the world that simply need to hear the words of our Father God. Yes, yes. Now, as I said, my two guests tonight, I am so very proud of these young men of God. Young men that could have easily taken their talent and used that talent in any manner in which they choose. But because of their love for Christ, they have decided to use their gifts to glorify God. Amen. My guests, Nick Hylton and Isaiah Jarvis, are producing, recording, and also writing rap music, but not just rap music, but rap music that speaks life. Young brothers, what I want you all to do is I ask you to introduce yourself to the family and tell us a little about yourself. Yes.
Yeah, so I guess I can start. Hello, everyone. I'm Nick Hylton. I'm 22 years old. I just graduated from UNC Chapel Hill literally yesterday, so feeling good about that. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to stop for a second. Nick, hold on for 1 second. Hold on one second. Okay, because we have some echoing here. I apologize for that, people. I apologize. Go right ahead.
No, you're good. So yeah, again, happy for all that. Happy to be here. Yeah, I'm from Fayetteville, 22. And yeah, I'm just here for some good conversation. Grew up in the church. Jesus.
My name is Isaiah Jarvis. I am 23 years old. I'm a music producer based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And like Nick said, I'm here for a great conversation. I also did grow up in church as well, and I'm excited to be here. So,
Awesome, awesome, young man. Okay, we kind of got to know each other a little bit. Like I said, I'm very impressed by these young men. Now, we heard a little introduction from you two, okay? But what I want you to do is tell us whom Nick and Isaiah. Who are you? And tell me what you stand for. And I say that because as leaders, and I can see that you two are leaders. You know, you got a gift. Who are you? Tell me who Nick and Isaiah is.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as of now, I really would say that I am somebody that recognizes how little control and power I have over my own life and how much God is really doing through me. Like it's honestly crazy. Like thinking about the fact that I like made it out of school in 4 years. Even with all the like pushback and struggles that there were. Also when I think about even my ability to make the music that I do, to rap, to write, like I look back on all of it every time I make something and I'm like, I didn't do that. God did that. Like I just know because there's no way. Like there's really no way. So that's what I would say. I would say I'm somebody that recognizes God's power in my life and that wants to just share that with the people.
Amen.
Yeah, I kind of want to piggyback on that. Like just having the talents. I know for me, the talents that God has given me, it's a gift. It's something that I can use to glorify Him, to just show people that you don't have to compromise who you are. I think being able to have the skills and talents that I've acquired that God has given me, and able to communicate what's in my heart, even with Nick, what's in his heart, and be able to put that together and show that to people in different ways, through music, through art, through just creativity, really. So I think that's kind of who I am, somebody that is really creative, and I know that my gifts are being given to me to be used and not hidden. So.
And I asked that question too because the next question is I want to know when and how did you start working together? And I asked that because you have to have a chemistry in order to gel together, to be creative. It has to be a match. Just because someone is talented, they may not gel with you. So how long have you all been working together and collaborating together?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. It's been a couple of years, and honestly, I think what happened was it started when we. So I currently go to the church that Isaiah grew up in, like in the Raleigh area, Durham, Chapel Hill. So I think I was like going to church one day, and he was visiting back home, and we started talking because we were in a group of people, and I mentioned that I like rap or something. He was like, "Oh, I produce. We should like meet up sometime, like cook up, like because he was in Charlotte." I was like, oh, "Shoot, cool." So we exchanged numbers then, and then it was either that year or the following year. Like we met up one summer, and then I drove up to Raleigh, not Raleigh. I drove to Charlotte, and crashed his apartment or his house, and we just were making whatever would come to. Like we just were just going, like making beats, making songs, just like, and we really like. I feel like our sounds kind of meshed really well, and so we were able to just create stuff that really just naturally flowed, but that like also was able to mesh really well together.
Okay. You want to add to that, Isaiah?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We met up a couple of years ago, and I think from there we hit it off. And although we haven't had as much time to work on something collectively, we've done some stuff, but not as much as probably we both would like to. But I know that like from the beginning, having that relationship, building that relationship, I know that's gonna continue to move, further in terms of our careers, in terms of making more music together, and working on more projects. So yeah, just having that, like you said, that mesh, having that relationship, and being able to just click and get work done, and like, wow, this is, we can really do some stuff. So yeah, that's probably all I wanted to add.
Okay. Okay. So both of you have attended college, which and actually, Nick, you want to make an announcement before I say what you just completed a milestone, right?
Yeah, as I said, graduated yesterday, literally.
Literally.
My bachelor's, yeah.
Hmm. How was that? I know that was a great feeling, a great accomplishment, especially during this time, during COVID time. You had to really buckle down because it wasn't a traditional learning you all had to do. How was that?
Yeah, no, I mean, this year honestly put me through a lot of like just pressure, I think. And so even being able to come out of that and yesterday just sit with like a whole bunch of my friends and like people that were, in our class and just be like we made it. Like it didn't really even set in or feel real until maybe last night, this morning. I was like, whoa, like I really am out here now, like just as an adult, just like I'm just out here on my own now. So, of course, there's what to do. But I think like that accomplishment is one of the reasons why I recognize what God is doing, because I look back over the past 4 years and I'm like, man, God really brought me through. There were so many times where there were just things that I could have taken me out completely that were just either my fault or something else. And I could see clearly that God intervened. So this is another example of that.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Now, like I said, I know you both attended college. This last year, yes, definitely it was a challenge. But outside of that, you had to do something to stay grounded, not just in COVID. And I ask that because when you're surrounded by that protectiveness of your family, it's a little different, because they hold you down in a different way. But once you get into college, you have to put into practice all those things that you were taught all those years. And I know sometimes it can be a little bit of a challenge. So what did you have to do so that you could stay grounded in the things your parents taught you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say a big thing besides just focusing on my personal like relationship with God and like Bible reading and prayer and study. I think like having a good group of people around me, because I was a part of a campus ministry while I was in school, and so having like a just big group of people that I like was always interacting with, and that we talked about what we were struggling with. We talked about what was going well, what wasn't going well. We talked about how we could grow, how we could do better. So I think having those people around me helped anchor me and just keep me really focused what I needed to be.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I know for me, my story is a little different. I didn't decide to, you know, change my life or turn my life to Christ until I think almost when I was about finished with college. So my story is a little bit different, but I think just having that foundation, having, growing up in that space and my parents teaching me, who God was and allowing me to really see it for myself, like trusting God's process. It actually pulled me closer to him. So my story is a little bit different, but I think just sticking to, what's been taught to you as a kid. And I think whether you want it to or not, it's always there. And I think God speaks through you, through those, through learning those things at an early age, he comes back and he speaks to you at different times. So that's kind of what happened with me in my situation. And that's
Mhm.
kind of how I, ended up turning to him, halfway through college.
Okay. Now we have a question for you all. What other NC North Carolina artists inspired you both, whether it's producer wise or rapper singer wise? And this is from a Deontay White. I'm not sure if you all know this person, but they want to hear it.
Yeah, we know
There you go.
Deontay.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to go? You said producer or artist that inspires us. Is that what he
Right.
asked?
Any NC artists that inspire,
NC,
whether it's producers
NC.
or rapper singer. I'm not sure if he's trying to get kudos there, but yeah.
Hmm.
Good
That's
question,
that's actually a
Deontay.
good question, though. That's a great question. And Nick, do you have something?
I mean, what I can think of right now is who I've met and interacted with in North Carolina that has helped me like on my journey. So like I've met producers and rappers through school that like helped me with my album, and like that I was able to build good relationships with, so that I could create some of the stuff that I've been creating, including you, Isaiah. And then I mean, and of course we're all aware of like artists like J. Cole and like people
Yeah.
that are
I
like,
kind of didn't want to say that.
yeah, but I
Oh, you
think
know
like
what? That's all. That's real though. That's real because J. Cole is talented. Whether it's secular or what, the talent is talent. You know.
yeah.
But,
And so I mean, I wouldn't say I'm personally like in
Yeah, same.
J. Cole, but I think that for me, it really would be just the people that I've met and grown up with in my city, and then like at my school, that have helped me just create music. And that's
okay. What about you, Isaiah? Can you think of anybody?
I'm trying to think of somebody that inspires me. I don't know a lot of people in NC that inspire me, if I'm being honest. J. Cole
Mm-hmm.
definitely is definitely a great artist though, and just being able to listen to his music and kind of even have the producers and other artists that are on his albums and tracks is definitely inspiring. I will
Mm-hmm.
say. That's probably all I could say honestly in terms of NC though specifically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay. So, um, the rapping. There's so many different ways that you can express yourself musically. Whether it's singing, and if I'm not mistaken, Isaiah, Nick, I think this was you singing in one of the songs that you sing too, correct? Or was that someone else singing?
I sing a little bit, and I have
Okay.
that thing too.
Okay. So what started the rapping and the producing and making the beats, all of that stuff? Because that was a mature decision, like I said, even though, you may work with other artists too, but still to stay focused. Okay, that's still where I want to do. What starts you in that direction? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think growing up in especially like middle school, high school is when I started to get more into like rap, because I had a friend who like we were just honestly having a lot of fun, but he would always like get me to freestyle on the bus, and we would like have friends that we wrote stuff, we listened to music, we like freestyled, and then in high school I noticed I was writing more and more and more, and like something would happen to me, I would write about it. Like I was feeling something, I would write about it, and like I wasn't necessarily thinking that like I would start seriously pursuing this type of stuff, but I just kept doing it. And so that same friend, like sophomore year of high school, was like, "Hey, let's do a talent show, and just so people we can do stuff," because we started getting pretty good at what we were doing. So
Yeah.
let's do it. And like that first talent show, I look back and I'm like, not great. I'm not. He might have a different perspective on that, but I don't know. We didn't place. Like it was just we threw it together. But the next year, junior year, and like that was better. We didn't place again.
Mm-hmm.
The next year,
Mm-hmm.
I did a solo act, and then I had a friend of mine, Julian Vinay, who great, I mean, musical genius. Y'all go find him on YouTube or whatever, Instagram. But he had me do a group act with him and join him in that. And I did 2 acts in that talent show at our high school and placed with both of them, second and first. So second with my solo one, first with the group one. And I was like, yo, like that's crazy. Because I knew that it was a thing where I knew that God, like the crowd was going crazy. Like I was like, this energy is not from just the people. Like God is doing something here because they're feeling what we're saying.
Yeah.
After that, when I realized, like, yo, I know that if I'm gonna do this, like, it's gotta be me doing it God's way because He's the one that is allowing me to do it, and so I needed to be doing this to fulfill His purpose and not my purpose. And so that's what I decided to do and started working on an album the next year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Isaiah.
Yeah, I actually went to school for graphic design. I went to a community college, and my plan was to do a 4 year, do 2 years of community college, and then transfer. Um, so I found music. I'm not a rapper or a singer, but I really love technology. I love art, and I just found some music on YouTube like beat making, Beethoven, these other producers making beats. And I don't know, it just hit me. I was like, this is cool. Like I can see myself really doing this. I just jumped right in. I said, I'm gonna go get me a laptop, give me a piano. We just gonna do it. And I think being able to do it, and then just, I think over the months and, even over the couple of years, I'd pray about it. I was like, okay, God, where do you want me at? Like, is this something I need to continue to do? And I feel like every time I would do that, something would open up, more opportunities, just skills that are acquired, like things would just continue to move in the direction that God wanted me to go. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So I ended up, just getting the 2-year degree and pursuing that. So now I work right now, and I'm working in my business, and I'm kind of just transferring into doing that full time. And I think, just continue to like realign myself. Okay, God, where do you need me at? Like, is this where you need me to be? And him just to kind of give me like an answer, like a nudge, like, hey, here you go, boom. It's like, cool, awesome. So I think that's kind of how I got into it. I just found something I'm really interested in, and something that really challenged me, but like allowed me to be creative. And I just tackled it, and it just really started, growing momentum, and
Mhm.
I love it. So
Mm. And one
yeah.
thing that you said is that you're waiting in a sense for him to continue to guide you. I
Hmm.
love that, because it sounds like you all are in your purpose. You're in your purpose. And you're right. Sometimes you just have to be still and allow him to guide you throughout that purpose. So I'm glad that you're mature enough to see, okay, I'm not gonna do it my way, because you could easily do it your way. we Believe me, I'm an old head. I've done that and bumped my head a few times. So just continue to wait on him. And where do you see yourself in the music industry in 5 years? What is your goal?
I think for me, it's helping out other producers, um, teaching them, definitely like building courses, and just inspiring, honestly, creatives to be independent and be able to provide value to people. So I think that's something I really love. Music is my thing, but there's other people out there that want to just be creative, and they want to, they want to basically show off their talents, like that's God's given them. So it's like that's kind of what I want to lean in towards. And of course, that's gonna be through my music. So teaching other producers, working with other artists like Nick and some other guys too, and putting out, I think ultimately putting out great content that people can listen to, and be inspired by, and just not, like I said before, not putting those talents under the rug, but like really utilizing them, and walking in that purpose. So I think I could see myself in 5 years just really encouraging other people, working with other people, and kind of just being an inspiration for others.
Okay. Okay. Nick?
Yeah, 5 years from now, I honestly cannot say what I'm going to be doing in 5 years. I know that, you know, after 5 years, I will still be using my gift however God wants me to use it, and I'll be still trying to just impact people. Um, and I mean, as long as I'm doing that, like, it'll be fine. So,
Okay. And another question is that, and I'm reading the questions that I'm getting, so I haven't gotten to my question, which I'm quite okay with this, because these are some awesome questions that are coming through. Another one is that, do you feel the industry, the area that you're in right now is bigger in New York, ATL, Los Angeles? Do you eventually see yourself maybe having or aspiring to move from North Carolina or Fayetteville? Because it is a little smaller here. Do you see yourself migrating somewhere else?
I mean, I personally see myself going somewhere else, potentially, but not, honestly, to be real, not even because of my career, just because I want to go somewhere else. I
Mm.
think personally, you can tap in anywhere. It doesn't matter where you're at. I mean, you can build a tribe anywhere you're at. It doesn't make a difference. You could be in the mountains somewhere, and you
Right.
could do that, if that makes sense. So I think for me, it's like big cities. I think it's all hype. I mean, I think there is more opportunities per se out there, but I think you can do just as much, if not more, where you're at, if that makes any sense. So I think inspiring the
Definitely.
people around you, especially in this day and age, everything is virtual. I mean, we're on a call right now. I could
Exactly.
be in Asia. Like, it doesn't matter where I'm at. People
That's
can
right.
still hear me. People can still see, hear the content, and I can still bring people in through different platforms. So
That's right.
I think my perspective of it is less of, I guess the traditional way. It's more like an online, of course, the people in my community, helping them, and growing the community that I'm in. So I think just being where I'm at, or wherever kind of God wants me to be at, it's probably the perfect place to be. So
Yeah, I agree. Social media is the bomb. Is
Oh yeah.
you can do so much with. I agree with you. All right, Nick.
Yeah, no, I think that is a great answer. I mean, yeah, I feel like you could do stuff anywhere. I personally do see myself also maybe moving somewhere like Atlanta, just based on who I know is in Atlanta, and then like just the that atmosphere does, seem very cool to me. But I mean, yeah, who knows?
Okay. And you kind of hit on this question, but it came around again. How has your upbringing influenced your sound?
I mean, for me, I've always as far as like spiritually, like I mean, my upbringing in church and my relationship with God and how that's been shepherded feeds into my messaging and like my perspective. As far as my like sonically, I think growing up listening to a lot of upbeat music and like mixes of hip hop, R&B, even like some rock and pop and
Mm.
stuff. And I really love trap music, like the sound of it and like just how complex the drums can get, like how deep the bass frequencies can get, and like just how that stuff sounds. Like to me it just feel like it's almost like crack. Like I don't want to reference crack like on a but like it's that effect. Like when I hear music like that, I'm like, yo, this I hear a beat like that and I want to just jump on it like immediately.
Yeah.
That's the type of music that I make, like stuff that's a mix of those things and then like really upbeat and like just hard hitting music.
Okay. Okay. And speaking of those collaborations we were talking about too, um, what artists and or have you collaborated with some artists or producers or writers that were not under the Christian genre? And how was that experience for you? Were you able to influence them a little too? And that's not to say that they're not good people, because we talked about that once before. They're good people everywhere. You just sometimes you just have to be shown certain things. But have you collaborated with those who are not Christians?
I can go first. I currently do work with a gentleman. Now we get together for sessions weekly. Actually, he's a really good guy. But I think at the core of it, I mean, we're all God's children, I mean, regardless.
Yeah,
So we can put out good music. You know, what I mean, at the core of it, it's good music that we can
yeah,
put out. I mean, I have my parameters. I have my things that I'm not willing to do. Like, hey, I'm not willing to do this. I'm not willing to do that.
yeah.
But it doesn't have to fall into that. Oh, you're not a Christian. We can't work, because at the end of the day, if we're working together and we're putting out something that's really gonna ultimately glorify God, it's why not? You know, why not put something out that people can listen to and be inspired by and see somebody's heart, which is ultimately what we want to do at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it. I do it now currently, and I think it's an influence. It's a way to influence people and get the best out of them. You know, if they can really put something out that's really great,
Yeah.
and not be a Christian. If that makes sense.
I'm glad to hear you say that, that you're not discriminating, because that's what that would be. It's
Right.
discriminating. And we have to reach everybody. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful by saying everyone, but we are called to go out, and how do you know when you're working with certain people that you want to inspire them
Mm.
in certain ways? With, like you said, you have your boundaries, and I'm sure they probably respect those boundaries. Nick, I don't want to take the floor from you. You can go ahead.
No, I mean, it's great stuff. Definitely. Even me having my own boundaries too. Like, if I ask somebody to hop on my song, I'll ask them not to curse, like stuff like that. If I'm doing something on somebody else's song, I don't care what they're doing. Like, that's their song.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but no, I think that something I often tell myself is if you want to make really good music, sometimes you got to go to the source. And so I think that, not everybody that's really talented is going to be like not in Christian. You can't find really talented people just in my circle. Like I have to sometimes venture
Yeah.
out, build relationships with people. And I think it is oftentimes a lot about relationship building, because that's
Yeah.
where the stories come, that's where the connection comes,
Yeah.
where people can swap perspectives. So I think with my experience in making music with people that might not be Christian, I think I'm still able to, just like Isaiah said, be a great influence, and so just show people how great it is when you do, end up making music that is more spiritually focused. So
Okay. And I have another question. This person, his name is Nick, actually, also. He said that is rap music bigger than pop music nowadays?
is that Nick Dennis? Oh my gosh.
Yes. you
Uh,
you knew exactly who it was.
yeah, and yes, definitely I do. Yeah. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yes. I like the question. He was like, I got to get that one out there. Yeah. Okay. What I want to do now, I just want to play one of your songs because I just want everyone to just hear this talent. Okay. All right.
Trip it up, Dirk Ball.
Let the credits roll. Credits roll. Yeah, it's a different vibe, a different sound, and they can try to shut it down. I might not let the people know when I'm around, cause I've been working overtime and underground. What you saying? All I'm saying is, I know they might never understand this, but I've been out here trying to shape the planet. It's not what they expected, no, it's not their type of message. I don't got the same intentions, no way. Hip hop in my blood, but I ain't coming. Whole crew rolling deep, yes we mobbing. Whenever I'm writing lines, no white eyes, but got an ill mind like Hopsy. And I write rhymes so I can get rid of my toxin. Till I burn out. I do this till I burn out. I ain't looking for a turnout. You know I'm driven, I'm gon' do this till I burn out. Yeah, till I burn out. I do this till I burn out. Yeah, I ain't looking for a turnout. You know I'm driven, still gon' do this till I burn out. Said we've been working underground, free the slaves. I do this for the mended hearts and better days. You give me a skill set I can't replace. I'm just trying to write lines they can't erase from their memory. But they don't have to remember me, I go Rambo, but I'm expendable. For the creed, only pun intended though. Like the genie with a ladder, let him go. I got the free will, no puppeteer. I'm an animal with no puppeteer, yeah. My name is not Fred, but I'm a savage, and these are wonder years. I do my thing for the people, don't got nothing else. I do not see any value in wealth. I'm just attempting to tell you the things that I usually keep to myself, cause many people talk black and blue. Testaments, yeah, I'm packing too, and I might never get a bag or two. And if you hating, go another latitude with the attitude. Yeah, I believe it's in his will for me to be a wordsmith. Feeling blue that I'm wishing the words hit. Never earned it and never learned it. And best believe that while I'm here, that the rhyme's clear, man, it's top tier. Man, I drop here like I'ma drop tears when I drop years into my Sistine Chapel. 16's grabbing missed these rappers, giving you the uncooked, no capping. You don't know we snapping, man, I slam poets, you don't know what's happening. Man, I can drop all year, bleeding cuss, the crew's all here. Mess with us, you oughta think about it. Blinking now, you're sinking deep into the sleeping hours. Till I burn out. I do this till I burn out. I ain't looking for a turnout. You know I'm driven, I'm gon' do this till I burn out. Yeah, till I burn out. I do this till I burn out. Yeah, I ain't looking for a turnout. You know I'm driven, still gon' do this till I burn out. Till I burn out.
That's it. That is it. That I just wanted everyone to hear that because, like I said, the talent clearly you can go wherever you want to go. You know what I mean? But the fact that you're using it in that way, because with young people today, we have to reach young people. You know, the music that I listen to, more than likely, your generation is not what they don't want to listen to that. You know, and I'm not gonna say none of it because some of it is good music too. Music, you know. But when I say that, is that the things that you all are talking about today, my generation Sometimes they don't understand it. You know, we're learning from you all. We're definitely learning from the millennials and the next generation. I always forget what is the Y? What
Gen
is it?
Z.
Z. Yeah,
Gen
there you
Z.
go. I'm giving it all the alphabets, aren't I? But yeah, but yeah, we're learning, and I pray that we continue to listen to you all, because you all are speaking volumes, and we need to listen because you are the future. You know, so what I want you to tell me now, I want you to tell me or tell us something that you would like to leave the family with. Something profound that you want to, it don't have to be profound. I say profound, I use the different words, but it's just something that you want to leave with them.
Sure, I can go first, Nick. I kind of been saying it up this whole time during this time, and um, the verse that I'm thinking about is Matthew 25, 24 through 30, and basically, like I said, it's like don't hide your talents. Like you got talents that God has given you, use them. Like use them. Like they're there for you. Like they're given to you so you can actually put out stuff and do great things. Not even just music related. It could be anything. But don't hide them. Don't be scared to tell people who you really are, and just utilize those talents that God's given you to preach His word, to glorify Him ultimately. And yeah, that's what I would say. Just don't be like discouraged or scared because everyone's doing it this way, but you have something that God's given you. Just go out there and make it happen.
Yeah, I agree. Use it or lose it. I know that's a
You lose
cliche.
it, lose it.
It's
Nah,
it's
for
an
real though.
old cliche, but it's true. You know. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the reference to that parable in Matthew, like, definitely, like, that's stuff that is applicable to everyone. I mean, we all have special abilities, gifts, and so if we're not using those to the best of our ability, like, what are we doing? Like, what I would say is, I would say two things. One, be free, and two, be authentic. And I say those things is, I think, like, the goal, like, all of us want to be free. And so I think, when I look at me, I've found freedom, in Christ and, like, in God. And I think everybody, is chasing that. And I want people to continue to chase that, whatever, like, the freedom, wherever that is, like, for you, like, go and chase that. Like, I want you to be as free as possible, because, like, when nothing is weighing you down, that's when you're able to use your talent to, like, the best of the ability. Because, like, that's when, like, nobody's able to stop you. And then I say be authentic, because, all my music, like, I know that it doesn't sound like everybody else, and I know that I tackle things in a different way, and I speak in a different way, and I use different methods of communicating my, message to people. But I think that while I'm doing it, I'm being true to myself, you know? And so I think that, in everything that people are doing, like whatever you're doing, I think being authentic is the best way that you can reach people, because if people know that the real you is the you that is really going for it, and, like, really strong in how you present your message and your stance, and that you stand for what you stand for, because you're not gonna be able to stand for something you don't really believe in, right? So whatever you really believe in, like, stand for that. Like, do that, because that is, once people see how serious you are about that, like, they're gonna gravitate towards that.
Yeah, and respect you. People respect when you're not wishy-washy, straddling the fence, and when like you said, when you stand for what you believe in, respect is going to come. Because it takes a strong person to stand. And I just want you all to discontinue your gift, because your gift is powerful. It's definitely powerful, and you have a lot of support. Um, and I just can appreciate that. Let us know how we can get in touch with you all. Um, Social media platforms, your record label, however.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an independent artist right now. So you can find me on Instagram, Nick_Hylton, Facebook, Nick Hylton, Twitter _ Nick Hylton _ Snapchat, Nick Hylton. Those are my things. Otherwise, look at my music wherever you listen to music, and you'll find me.
Hmm. Okay. All right, Isaiah.
Yeah, you can find me at on Instagram. It's Iceage, ISAGE_beats. You can also check me out on YouTube. It's Iceage Beats. So those are the two platforms that you can find me on. Of course, you could always email me. That's if you're still doing email. It's iceagebeats@gmail.com.
You got a comment here, Nick, about your song. A preacher man said, "I hope, young man, I hope you don't mind, but he can preach on your hook." He may just end up doing a sermon on your hook. So
That might be cool though.
I
I
know,
knew
right?
it.
I'm looking. That's my husband. Action. I'm gonna listen and see if I hear it, I'm gonna definitely let you know, Nick.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, family. If you all did not get everything from these young men, as far as you want to get in touch with, if you didn't get their platforms, or you just want to know how to get their music and get in touch with them, you may want to work with them. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Roz Real Talk Now, or at Rosalind.Greenprice, or you can reach out to me on YouTube as well, Real Talk Now, Rosalind Green Price, and make sure if you hit me up on YouTube, please subscribe and let me know that you were there. Blessings, family. Have a great night.